Hi everybody, how y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. I thought I'd pop up here, do a video, since I haven't done one in a while. Hold on, I forgot to turn that thing off. Oh, I want to have to talk over it. So, anywho, yeah, it's been a week of extreme downs, let's put it that way. A little bit of ups, but extreme downs, and I'm going through an extreme down right now. A lot of chest issues, and shooting straight down into my right arm. Actually, right now I feel like I've only been awake for about an hour, and I feel like I've had the living shit beat out of me all night. It's kind of how I feel right now. A lot right here. This is kind of where it's emanating from, is this spot right here. It has shot down into, is kind of migrated a little bit here and there. It's either here or at one point this week it was right here. The muscle's right here. Then it shot back up here. It's been going down into my arm, all the way into my wrist and hand quite a bit. It's all strictly muscle. At least this part, anyway. I have been dealing with allergy issues as well. Fortunately, the pollen count has calmed down a little bit. I think it was, last Saturday. Oh, gosh, I had the worst sinus headache. And I don't dare take anything, even over the counter, because of the reactions that I have had due to the treatment that I was receiving last summer. So now I can't even. I know I have taken a Claritin once. I took it last fall. I had one left, and I was pretty ugh, and I went ahead and chanced and took it. I didn't have any issues, but that was just one one time. As far as the purple box is concerned, I can't remember the name of it. No, I am very sensitive to it now. And as far as the nasal spray, no, because I had sensitivity issues to the prescription, so over the counter it's going to be the same. And that's basically all it was, is that I was taking was the same thing, only it was through a prescription. And then I know there's another pill out there. I don't remember. And of course, there's the other ones too. Like I think Dayquil or whatever. But either way, I just don't risk. I don't care to risk it. Saturday, the pollen counts was mostly because we had some weather come in from Canada, and it was bringing in all the pollens from up there. It has since cleared up. It's not so bad. My eyes are still kind of itchy, but at least it's not as bad. I had started doing some research as far as natural antihistamines to see about anything. But I did find out about citrus vitamin C, and also I did not know it, but ginger and turmeric, and I used those, combination of those, the actual root, shaving with a lemon peel or lemon zester, excuse me. I'd use those for my gut issues with the inflammation that I used to have a lot with that. Um, and I never once considered, ginger turmeric for natural antihistamine for this. So Saturday I couldn't take it anymore with things. It was bad enough I was dealing with all this, and then I'm dealing with this, and I'm like, I was just miserable. So I trucked on out to Whole Foods, even though I really didn't know if I was up to the drive. I'm like, I couldn't take it anymore. And I tried researching around, places closer to here to see if by chance anybody had any turmeric root. Nobody did. So I trucked down out there, and at least out there I'd be able to get organic on top of it. And I got that, and then since I didn't have a whole lot of money left, I went to Walmart and stopped off there and got a bag of lemons and limes and oranges so I could make my lemonade. I know, why in the world would you need all three of those for lemonade? Well, I'll get to that. Anyway, yeah, I got home and I heated myself up a cup of water. That's the thing with turmeric. Turmeric, you need it needs pepper, black pepper, to help carry it through the body. Okay, so if you want to do this, I highly recommend. You need to make sure you also add pepper. So basically, what you do, and it's better if you use the root and not the powdered stuff that you get down the spice aisle. Okay, because the stuff down the spice aisle has been processed, meaning that it's been heated. So in that way it can be ground up into that powder. Okay. So basically what you do, in case you've never, I think I may have the recipe over on the blog. I'm not entirely too sure at this point, but here you go. You'll need a lemon zester, looks like a straight, flat edge cheese grater, basically. Okay, some people will use it as a cheese grater as well, especially for like Parmesan cheese, because it gets it really fine. You'll need that, and you'll also need a T-ball. I actually had gotten some T-balls here recently, and I think I may have gotten them for maybe to get some ginger or turmeric, but I don't remember why I got them. But I know I had gotten them here recently. I thought I was getting a 3-pack of the small ones that are like this big or whatever. But it wound up being 3 different sizes. And I was just like, oh, crud, and I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and keep them anyway, as I got them through Prime. And I'm like, screw it, I'll just go ahead and keep them. I'll use them for something. Well, here I am, using them. So I am actually using the medium-sized one. But, if you want to use the small one, it's up to you. I'm just finding it's working out. The medium-sized one is actually working out to be a little bit better for me. So anyway, I know I keep rubbing my eyes. I just keep itching, and it kind of hurts to see with daylight. Anywho, I take take a little bit of ginger, break a little bit off of it. It'll look like a kind of a weird looking root. Okay, just take it a little bit off and wash it. Okay, leave the skin on. All right, it's actually better if you leave the skin on, and just shave it. Shave some off. Okay, however much that you want. All right. I'll usually wind up with like a small handful by the time everything is done. Like kind of like a center of the palm of your hand. Okay, about that size by the time everything is said and done. So shave off a little bit of that. Do the same thing with your turmeric root. Washing it, shaving it. Okay, and then mix it up. Mix it together. And like I said, just about the cup of your hand. Maybe a little bit. Something like that. All right. Throw it into the tea ball. All right. Heat yourself up your cup of water. All right, to your desired temperature. I use cracked peppercorn. All right. I used actually for my cooking. I use cracked peppercorn melange. So and that's perfectly fine. As long as it's getting the black pepper, that's what matters most. All right. And do a little bit in your water first. All right. Don't need much. Okay. If anything, pepper is also really good with helping to, if you have sinus congestion, pepper is really good with helping to release a lot of that as well. And then just take your tea ball and dunk it in, get it going, a little bit, and then just let it go and let it steep. I usually do about 10-15 minutes, something like that, sometimes 20, just depends. I'll usually let it steep while I'm getting my food prepared, like if I'm doing leftovers. I'm a big fan of leftovers. So I like to do big cooking and then eat leftovers the rest of the time. So it just kind of depends on how long it takes me to, do that prepping. So, and, like cutting up my salad and maybe cutting up an apple for me to have on the side, things like that. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah. And I did that first, got that going. And even just the aroma, getting those vapors in, really helped with clearing me up with my sinuses. So, that was great. Then, next thing I did was made my lemonade. Obviously, you're going to need a lemon squeezer, a juice squeezer. I got a glass one here sometime this past summer. I had a really nice glass one, but of course that was in storage, but that's okay. And it was bigger too, the one that I had, but oh well, it is what it is. So anyway, what you want to do is you want to wash it all first, okay? You'll need a bag of lemons, bag of limes, and then 1 orange, all right? Either do the tall 64-ounce canning jars, okay? Like the ones from Ball are really good. That's actually my particular favorite because I like the decoration that they put on the outside. So anyway, you'll need either 2 of those or 4 of the 32-ounce. All I had available were 32-ounce, so that's what I had wound up using. And basically, what you'll do with the 64 ounces, you'll split up the lemons and limes evenly between all the jars, whether it's the 64-ounce or the 32-ounce. I know I was starting off talking about the 64-ounce, but anyway, you'll split them up evenly as between them, okay, and then including the 1 orange. All right, so obviously, if you're using the 64-ounce jars, it'll be half and half. If you're using the 32, then it'll be split up into the quarters. Okay. Wash the skin. You're gonna wash them first. Okay. You're gonna see why here in a little bit. Wash those first. Okay. And then roll them onto hard surface to help loosen up everything, okay, before cutting them and squeezing. And of course you're going to cut and squeeze and evenly divide the juices. Then you're going to take your best skins. You're going to save them, okay, as you're rolling them and cutting them, squeezing them. Save your best skins. You're going to take your best ones, and depending on how much zest that you like, I will usually use a half a lemon in each of the 2 big jars. I used quarter of a lemon in each of the 32-ounce jars. Okay. As far as the lemon is concerned, the lime I used half, and then the orange I used quarter. Okay. And just cut it. Okay. And drop them in, so that way you're also getting that zest in. Then for the 64-ounce jars, you're going to use a full cup of sugar in each jar. I use organic cane sugar personally. You use that in each of the 2 jars. The 32-ounce, of course, you'll use half a cup. Fill it up with some filtered water, okay? If you have a home filtration system, just use that. You can use regular tap water, or if you prefer, use bottled water. Do your research as far as bottled water is concerned, people. Alright, I get so fed up with being out here doing these deliveries and people buying the shittiest water. Do your research. Just because it says it's purified or filtered water doesn't mean it's actually purified or filtered water. Okay? Do your research. I want to do a little side note on this, because studies have shown that the majority of it out there is basically just filtered water. I mean, it's just regular tap water. Okay? So, yeah. If you have a regular faucet, not one of those where it has the sprayer that comes out of the faucet, but if you have a regular faucet or whatever, pure filtration system is awesome. Basically the top of the line one, it's basically a 3-stage. I don't remember the exact name. They used to call it Pure 2, Pure 3, but they've changed the name over the years. But anyway, that one is the best one, okay? It's like $25 for the starter kit. That's it, people. And the filters last for about 2-3 months, okay? So, at least a couple of months, depending on how much you use it. So, yeah, just use that, people. And they're only $18-20 to replace the filter. Ridiculous what everybody spends on that bottled water, and it's a waste of money. So, but anyway, fill up your jugs, okay, your bottles, and then seal them up. I'm not talking about throwing them in, I'm not talking about throwing them in a kettle or anything like that with sealing them on. Not that sort of sealing. Just, put the caps on. If you can't figure that out, then you don't belong cooking. That's the way I look at it. Girl brain. And then shake them up. Throw them in the fridge for a good 24 hours. 24 to 36 hours is what I recommend. Give them a good opportunity to set. Okay? Letting that sugar get in there. Everything just, getting good and in there and everything. And then have yourself a nice, and then before each time you bring it out to pour yourself a glass, give it a good shake, and then help yourself to some freshly squeezed citrusade, basically. And it was funny too, because as I was squeezing the lemons, and it was like that citrus. It was just getting in there, and it was just helping. And it was just feeling so good. So, give it a shot. That's all I can recommend, especially if you're somebody like me who's having difficulties with even over-the-counter allergy medicines. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I have going on. The ginger turmeric tea also helped with the inflammation a lot that I was having in here. I am getting inflamed a little bit because of the muscle issues. It got really bad again yesterday. And then I see today we have some scattered showers. So it's like, okay, that explains why everything was flaring up. So, with the heavy breathing, it's, yeah. And I didn't drink my tea last night when I had dinner either. I did have a little bit of lemonade. So, yeah. I did get approved for Mayo again. The only problem is the funding. They do take the insurance, so that's a good thing. And with funding, I'm talking about actually being able to go down there and stay. Because it's about a 2-hour drive south of here, from where I'm at. So I'm either going to have to drive down there every single day for each of those appointments. They want you down there, or to plan to be down there for about 7 to 10 business days for all the appointments, because it's a one-time shot, basically. It's a one-time deal. You go in, you see basically a primary care physician first, okay? And then they analyze you and set you up for all the appointments for all the treatments that you're going to be needing. So that's why they say 7 to 10 business days. So I'm either going to have to risk it and do the 2-hour drive down there and back every day, or maybe have a little bit of money for those times when I absolutely cannot make it back or something, depending on what sort of treatments I get, or try and get as much money together as I possibly can and hope for the best with being able to stay during that time. Hotels down there do cater. They do work with certain hotels anyway to cater to people who are going to the clinic. The only problem is that I'm concerned with is my allergy issues. Even going in some of the hotels around here, or even some of the apartments around here, it's very difficult a lot of times with the aromas that they pump into those places. Even if they aren't, then there's an issue that I had thought of, that I have concerns with being in the hotel situation or whatever, and the bleach that they use on the linens and so forth. Right. So I'm kind of screwed one way or another. Or even the cleaning supplies that they use, or whatever the case may be. So, I'm not entirely too sure how to handle any of it. Right. Because if it isn't the aromas going in, there's also the skin sensitivities that I have to deal with, and especially with bleach. Bleach, Pine Sol, those are really bad on me, especially with skin sensitivities. So that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about risking just doing the 2-hour drive, going down there and then 2 hours driving back, and then I still have to work, of course, during that time too, even if it's just a little bit. I don't know. Fortunately, next week, the insurance kicks in, or the new insurance kicks in, and I do have the appointment with the primary care physician. So I could talk to him about everything that's been going on. At least now, Angie and Rick have gotten a full exposure of what I have been dealing with. And they are very empathetic to people with medical issues. And they're very intuitive or insightful with watching and seeing and realizing that, hey, you do have an issue here. This isn't make believe and so forth. So yeah, it's not some sort of bullshit thing like what I've been dealing with in the past, where everybody's been more concerned with their money than being concerned with the person's well-being. It's like, and I get it. It's a survival thing, but and maintaining their whatever, their level of being and what have you. And I'm sorry, but I lost everything, with the exception of my life and what's most important sitting right here beside me. And it's like, and it's also in that way I could try and get some help. I don't give a fuck. And one day it'll happen to you as well. That's the way I look at it. So, the way I look at it is, come down from your fucking high horses. And one day you'll be forced down from it. That's the way I look at it. In other words, go fuck yourselves. And it's been nice being in this environment, I will admit. And it's not because I'm trying to be a mooch or anything like that. It's so in that way I can get some fucking help. But, and more people need to be like this in the world. But anyway, so next week, I'm gonna be seeing him, and hopefully maybe we can figure out some treatments. I still think physical therapy, and not just physical therapy with the muscles in here, but also chest physiotherapy. There's a separate thing for that, where it helps to basically help keep the mucus out and also help rebuild the airways. Also, because I feel like that I need to do that. It's especially when I'm getting these inflammations, these issues, and so forth. It makes it difficult. It's part of it's pressure, but it's weakened muscles. It's all weak, not just weakened muscles, but also the airways feel like they're weak, and it makes it difficult to try and push out so I can breathe in. Exhaling is no big deal. Gravity just takes care of that. But it's that pushing against the gravity that makes it very difficult. So, yeah, this is kind of where I'm at. And I think what's going down to Rochester, if I, down to the Mayo Clinic, down there, I think that I should be able to keep driving down there. Fingers crossed, even with the car that I have. So in that way I can keep the money going. But I'm fairly certain of it. And it's like, it's something I'll have to look into. But in the meantime, I'm going to have to try and get as much money together as I possibly can. I mean, I may only be down there for a few days. But they said to plan on 7 to 10 business days. And with the appointments that they were showing when I called them the other day, it was looking end of October, beginning of November. Just in time for my birthday. Happy birthday to me. It has been tough. To tell you the truth, I've been dying for a pot of chili. I think the spices, to tell you the truth, it just sounds so good. And I looked at that last night, but I didn't want to feel like sitting around waiting 2 hours for my food to cook. But oh well, it is what it is. I figure I will go out to work tonight, and I'll have money tomorrow, so I can make a pot of chili maybe tomorrow. Just taking it easy as best I can, but I gotta make sure that I keep up with that car payment as much as possible. So anyway, it's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I said, I feel like I've been having the shit beat out of me all night or something. I'm not entirely too sure what. That's kind of how I feel. My chest is just, it's very sore and very weak. So I'll lay down on my mat and pillow later. And I've been hitting, of course, the essential oils as well. Biofreeze or anything like that I've been staying away from, primarily because of the menthol. The menthol can have a tendency to irritate the airways. And then, of course, the skin right in this area is very thin. So that can have a tendency to irritate. The only other thing that I had thought of to see about getting is some arnica gel, which I think I'll probably see about doing tomorrow. At least it could help, a little bit more maybe. And at least it doesn't have a strong odor like the other stuff does. So that combined with my essential oils that I'm using, and I could also see about maybe picking up some other essential oils like the peppermint and so forth. We'll see. I don't want to be spending too much money on that stuff, especially if I already have things that they do help. It just needs to calm down a little bit more. To tell you the truth, I feel like I need a good massage on my chest. A really, really good massage. Like chiropractor's office or something. So, anywho. Still working on the situation with my sensors. Fingers crossed that maybe things will happen today. We'll see. If not, then I'm going to have to do out of pocket with that. Joy. So, anywho. Alright. I have until, I think, 4 o'clock on Tuesday. But of course we have the holiday on Monday. So, anyway. I'm going to see about going and eating. That's all I can think of for right now. Yeah. I love you guys. Take it easy. I'll talk to y'all soon.